Salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and today's 5-Minute Salute is sponsored by the Military Affairs and Veterans Department of the City of Jacksonville. Harrison Conyers and team taking care of our veterans, squaring away with the benefits they earn through their military service. Talking about veterans, we got Adam Baker with Schooley Mitchell, located up there in the beautiful state of Pennsylvania. Adam, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, thanks for taking time to tell your story. So let's talk about, where you originally from and what you do in the military.
Yeah, so I'm kind of all over. Really, my childhood was spent half in Southern California, half just north of Pittsburgh. Enlisted in the Air Force right out of high school, went and did radar equipment. I was really, really fortunate. The Air Force awarded me a ROTC scholarship. Let me get out early, go to ROTC. So I went to the University of Pittsburgh, got my commission, came back in. I had a pilot slot. I went in and flew. My eyes were not conducive to flying, so I wasn't a good pilot. So I ended up moving over to security forces in the Air Force and had an opportunity to lead some troops in security forces.
That's excellent, man. Thanks for doing that. Security forces, the grunts of the Air Force. So I'm sure your Marine relatives make fun of you for that, but that's awesome, man. Hey, thanks for what you did in the Air Force to keep our nation secure. So, hey, so Schooley Mitchell, what's the organization and what do you do with them?
Yeah, so Schooley Mitchell is North America's largest independent cost reduction consulting firm. So we've got about 300 locations across North America, and we all own our own offices. And really what we do is we go into organizations to find ways to reduce their costs, but it's not through changing processes or procedures or changing their operations or reducing headcount. It's really about saying, how can you do what you're doing now, but do it at a cheaper rate? The things that you're paying for, how can you reduce those costs without reducing the quality of what you're getting?
That's huge, man. It's funny. I got a friend that's not necessarily in this space, but he has a software company, and they have people that actually go in, and they're specifically in the medical space. And he's like, the amount of money in accounts receivable, in other billing errors and issues and things like that, the process has issues, or not necessarily the process, the people in the process. So obviously that is one segment, but you really go in the business, look under the hood and say, hey, did you guys look at the following things? And you find savings. That's huge. Who are you typically working with? Yeah, go ahead.
So all of us, we work with anybody. We work from, like this morning, I just had a conversation with the VA Medical Center. So we'll work with federal government, local government. We work with for-profits, nonprofits. As a matter of fact, City Rescue Mission down in Jacksonville is one of my clients. So we work with anyone. Each office kind of has their own specialty, and really mine is I work with a lot of nonprofits. And it's because so I had said that I grew up kind of Southern California, Pittsburgh. So my mom is a domestic abuse survivor, and we had to move around because when my dad would find us, we would pack up, leave everything, and go somewhere else so he wouldn't find us. And so we really relied on nonprofits and government support to get by. And now that I own my own business and I can help these organizations, I'm really pulled and called to help the nonprofit organizations or organizations that really impacted me as I was kind of building my life.
That's huge, man. Thanks for doing that. And it's funny, this is a space that most people, when you talk about cost reduction and savings, you don't think about the nonprofits, right? But that is obviously, that's an area where money's either left on the table or it's not utilized to the biggest impact that it can. So how did you get in this space? You went from being in the Air Force into being in the financial consulting space.
Yeah, I had a really, really cool opportunity. So when I was doing security forces, I was out doing nuclear work. When you're doing nuclear in the Air Force, you're non-deployable. Yep. And it was late in the war in Iraq, 2008, and I got a call from my commander. He said, hey, there's an Army billet position to deploy to Iraq. would you be interested in taking that position? I said, absolutely. My brothers were Marines. My sister was Army. They all had a chance to deploy. I never had. So I said, yeah, absolutely. He said, okay, well, it's kind of a unique position in that you've got your operational focus, which is on base and perimeter defense and things like that. He said, but it's also, you're going to be working with the Marines and other Army officers. You're going to try to find a way to reduce the cost of the warfighting effort without reducing our capabilities.
Yeah.
And so I got to deploy and really see that cost reduction isn't just about, getting rid of your quality things or having people go without. There's a way that you can tactically reduce your costs and still be just as effective.
Yeah.
When I came home from Iraq, my wife said, hey, we are never doing that again. So she said, if you get out, we'll go anywhere. So ended up getting a job in the corporate world, really utilizing those same skills. Ultimately, it was leading a metrics and performance improvement division for a large company, and then just kind of felt the itch to go do something else. And so that's when I ended up joining Schooley Mitchell.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, Adam, thanks a lot for that. Hey, what we're going to do, we're going to take your contact information and Schooley Mitchell, and then we're going to put in our show notes. And we're going to encourage everybody to reach out to you and continue the conversation on LinkedIn. So thanks a lot.
Perfect, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for taking time and telling your story. Man, it's very intriguing what you're doing, and thank you for your service to the nation. That's huge, and man, people like you keeping our country safe. So thanks again.
You too, brother. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, you like what you heard? Please connect with Adam and myself. Please share our content. We'd love to talk to you online. We'll see you in our next segment. Live with gratitude.
When they leave us for battle, we await their return. When their embrace is gone, we imagine them with us. Some don't come back. We grieve. Some come back hurting. We help. Heroes survive. We honor them. Heroes fall. We remember them. 150,000 veterans live in Jacksonville. We serve them. We're the Military Affairs and Veterans Department, City of Jacksonville. Because of them, our light never dims.